What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of a Dadish with your host Ish. Uh, this week before we hop into the episode, I just wanted to, just get into, some information about the podcast and then just a little bit about myself, so we can lay that groundwork down before we really hop into everything. So, with that being said, really what I'm looking for this podcast is going to be to establish a channel for experienced fathers to new fathers that may be out there, so we can help out some new dads, some expecting dads, or even some fathers that are out there that are just facing a new problem. Maybe someone on here has gone through an experience that you may be going through it now, and so maybe just to help you out, to hear, to lend a helping hand with experience and knowledge about the situation, to help you out. So before we hop in all that, so start off with myself. My name is Ishmael. I go by Ish for short, hence the name Ish, Dad Ish. I'm married. I have two children. I have two daughters. One just turned 5, and I have a 6-year old. So my kids are fairly young. So really just hopping into the game and learning and just kind of going, going every day is a new adventure. So as far as some expectations, I really want to touch base with people that that are just having some questions. Because a lot of the times the information that you get about being a father and fatherhood, it's not correct. Sometimes the situation that you or the information that you might be getting, it's something that's old that people don't do anymore, or there's a better or easier way that's out there. So I really want to help out with those people that might be facing those kind of situations. And really, when it comes to being a father, there's a lot of difficulty that goes into it. For myself, I have two daughters. So I can tell you right now, I know absolutely nothing about being a woman. So every day, learning how to comb their hair and to brush their hair, to braid it, to make sure I'm using the right shampoo and conditioner. These are all situations and things I never would have imagined. So, if there's people that are out there that have some questions and they don't know what to do, hopefully we can get that information out there, really help out. Because when it comes to being a father, there is a lot of difficulty, there is a lot of hard times, a lot of stress, a lot of wear and tear that takes place, but there's just as much, and if not more, joy that comes out of the situation. So, making sure that when you're in those hard times, that you're aware that things do get better and there is light at the end of that tunnel. Um, when it comes to being a father, there is a lot of old and outdated information. When it comes to being part of, I'm a millennial myself, but there's also older generations that are out there, and when you try to ask your father, or you try to ask an uncle or a cousin, and the last time they had a kid was like 20 something years ago, things have changed a lot since then. I feel now that a lot of the fathers that are out there, they're a lot more hands on, they're a lot more involved. And when you try to ask for advice from the older generation about how they did things, there was a lot of, hey, we just sat back and we let the women raise the children, and that's what it was. And I see from my friends, from acquaintances, and even myself, we are a lot more hands on with that. And I promise you, it's definitely worth it. When it comes to the relationship that you have with your significant other, or the child's mother, when you're in there helping out as much as you can, it takes a lot of strain and stress off of that relationship that you have, or that could be there. And it really makes a big difference, not only on the relationship with that person, but also with the child. It's a lot more rewarding knowing that you sat there and you helped your child read or write, or figured out a math problem. And later on down the road, when they think about the times that they had with you, it's going to be you helping them, not just you sitting back, drinking a beer and watching the game. So these are all things that I want to touch base with, to make sure that the dads are doing the jobs that they should be doing. And they also, the other thing is that you know every situation that I've gone through, or my guests have gone through, doesn't mean that you need to do it the exact same way. I'd like for you to take from this and implement it into your life. And I think that's really the best thing out of this podcast. There's a lot of good times, there's a lot of bad times. For myself, my father was a very good father. Growing up, I can't think of a time where he wasn't there, helping me out, showing me the way, really laying down the foundation for the man and the father that I am now. But the thing is, as time went on, he laid it down, but also kind of let me do my own thing. And I wish, he was there maybe a little bit more to show me and help me and guide me in the future. And so that's maybe something that we can touch base on when it comes to, our guests that we plan on bringing on that are going to have, older kids. I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of guests and acquaintances that they have children where, they're young, they may be in the toddler age. And I have some friends that they have, high school age kids, or they have teenagers already, and that's something that I don't have any experience on. So it's going to be a good opportunity for even for myself as a guest to ask questions, to lay down the framework for when my kids get older, what to expect. But I would like for you to come on this journey with me, really learn what it learned from us, and help each other out, because you know being a dad is not just you being in the house with your kid. It's really a community of other people that are going through similar situations. We need to all be here for each other. So the first week, I have my friend Israel. So Israel, he's a father. He has a daughter. He's not in a relationship with the child's mother. So we go over co-parenting and what that's like and how that's working out for him. So I appreciate you, listening to my story, and I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. All right, everyone. So this is the first episode of Dadish. This is going to be a podcast focused on dads for dads, hosted by myself, Ish. So today I have my friend Israel here, goes by Iz. So Iz here, he's well, to a few. So Iz, he's a father of a daughter, and I myself consider you to be a good father. From the conversations that we have, you telling me about everything about her. I see you constantly posting her, and not necessarily that posting means that makes you a good dad, but I do
Uh-huh.
have some friends out there that you wouldn't even know they had kids according to their social media. So it's just something that it looks like you take pride in when you post your daughter. So my first question is for you is: do you consider yourself to be a good father? And if so, or if not, tell me why.
Um, yeah, I do consider myself to be a good dad. I didn't think I was going to be. I didn't know if I was going to be. I think that's what one of the things I was scared about when first learning that I was going to have a daughter, because I didn't have a dad myself. Um, I didn't know how to be one. I didn't know how to act as one. I didn't know what it was. Uh, and then it kind of just all came together once I saw her. So yeah, I think I consider myself a good dad.
Once you got the news that you were going to be a father, did you start planning?
No, I was in denial.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't plan anything. I was in denial. I was like, I don't believe it. Uh, I don't. I tried not to. I tried to ashamedly now. I tried like putting it out of my mind and rejecting the idea.
So I know for myself, when I, found out that I was gonna have kids, or my wife was pregnant at the time, it didn't even cross my mind. It wasn't even a possibility that I could have a daughter. In
Uh-huh.
my mind, I thought solely I can only have a boy. Um, I remember I was talking to my mom, and it was before we found out the gender of the baby, and I was just telling my mom like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to all these games, we're gonna throw the football, and we're using all these boy things, and we're gonna be in the dinosaurs." And when I got the news that I was having a daughter, it was like a ton of bricks just hit me. You hear so many things about boys and girls, and I think it's a fear also that, I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know the things that women go through. So it was a real big blow for me. So how was it for yourself when you found out that you were gonna have a daughter?
Um, Well, I didn't know I was gonna have a daughter until she was born.
Okay.
So there are very few surprises left in this world.
Hmm.
Uh, one is having a child. Have, right off the top of my head, I can't think of another. But very few surprises left in this world. So I didn't know for 9 months what it was going to be. Me and Ashley, baby's mother, we would just say, "Hey, baby, we're gonna buy this for baby. We're gonna do this for baby," because we didn't have a name picked out. We didn't know the gender, so it was just baby to us. Even to this day, you'll hear us sometimes saying, "Oh yeah, go get baby. Oh, here's baby." Because that was her name for 10 months.
Right.
Um, but I was hoping for a boy. I wanted a boy. I had a strong biblical name picked out. It was Ezekiel Anthony Sandoval. I picked Ezekiel because he was a prophet in the Bible, and the way he preached his sermons or relayed the messages from God had a little of my personality and a little of Ashley's personality. So I really like thought into it and dug into this.
Mm.
So I was ready for a boy. Jokes on me. I've always, I've always in all my life been surrounded by women.
Mhm.
Father wasn't around, didn't have any uncles, no grandpas. It was just a matriarch of family. So it's just been nothing but girls. That was the joke I played on myself. I played myself in thinking I was gonna have a boy, and she came out a girl.
So, like you mentioned, the baby's mother. So, my understanding is that you're not married. So,
No.
how do you navigate co-parenting? Like, do you guys discuss things in advance? Do you just do what you want to let her deal with the consequences? Does she do the same? How does that work for you guys?
For co-parenting, I think we have a really unique situation and a really unique um, relationship. I knew and I decided in my heart that if, in order for me to be a good dad, like I wanted to be, I need to be good to Ashley. And I think those things go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And so that was what I decided in my mind is I want to be a good dad. I need to be good to Ashley. And then Ashley and I both come from so me and Ashley both come from broken homes. And again, something we talked
Mm-hmm.
about, we knew it's not something we wanted to raise Adeline in. So no matter what, everything we did and how we are with each other was for Adeline, but also because we love each other. Ashley's very dear to my heart. I love her and I know she loves me. And so when you put things into perspective and like this is our end goal is to raise a daughter and know that her parents love each other and that we love her, then she's going to be a good human being.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can definitely relate. I mean, I grew up in a broken home also, so going back and forth on the weekends and summers,
Mm.
it was terrible. It was wouldn't want to be an experience that I would want my put my children through. So, for the
Yeah.
sake of that, I mean, I definitely try to make things work for their benefit. I mean, don't get me wrong, me and my wife have a great relationship together, but that's also something that crosses my mind. The age that my kids are at now are the same age that I was when my parents split up. And, I remember going through all those situations and how it impacted me and, moving schools so often. And it was terrible, and I understand that when, people split up, they don't do it they don't do it for the reason of the children. They do it because their relationship isn't working out. But I don't know. I think sometimes maybe if they take children's I guess feelings or the impact into consideration, maybe it might go a little bit further, at least try to figure out a solution where it's not just see you on the weekends and that's it kind of thing. So, she may not see it or understand it now, but definitely in the future, that'll definitely, be remembered and thought of.
It's all sacrifice too,
Yeah.
being able to sacrifice myself for my daughter, Ashley doing the same thing. Sometimes I'll sacrifice more. Sometimes Ashley will sacrifice more, but we still have that understanding that we're going to sacrifice anything for her and it ends up working out.
Right.
And it has been working out great for us.
So your child she's how old now?
She just turned 2 on the 23rd.
She just turned 2. Okay. So when she gets a little bit older, do you plan on putting her like in activities, like sports, anything like that?
I I want to put her in things that are going to help her. challenge her, give her some good eye-hand coordination. Ashley and I have talked about different things. Not really like gymnastics, only because that bastard Larry Nasser put a bad taste in my mouth. The
Yeah.
one from the
No.
Olympics
Mhm.
that pissed me off. But also that ruins their joints and kind of like destroys them at a very young age. Maybe soccer because that's good eye-hand coordination. Volleyball. I don't like the outfits that they make them wear.
Mhm.
um, Maybe basketball. Yeah, we've talked about like what kind of things that we would put her in. Maybe dance or something like that.
So, I mean, you just mentioned the outfit. So, when it comes to like wardrobes, are you involved a lot in the stuff that she wears?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Mainly because I'm a sneakerhead, and so
Yeah.
I want her to always have some Jordans on, regardless of what the outfit is. A cute
Right.
dress for Christmas, there's Jordans for that.
Right. Fresh kicks.
It's an Easter dress, there's Jordans for that.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm the same way. I try to be involved with what the girls are wearing. Sometimes, my wife will be in a rush trying to get them dressed, and the shirt or the skirt that they may be trying to put on is from last year. It's gotten just a little bit too small, and I'm like, I'm sorry, we're not stepping out in that today. Like, I'm gonna put my dad foot down here, and we're not going there. And my wife will look over, and she's like, okay, she's like, that's fine. She understands. We try to be a little bit on the safe side with them. I don't feel comfortable with my children, going out wearing like crop tops in public, and I understand that some people. So I know it's far from now, but has the thought ever crept into your mind about when your daughter decides to start dating?
No, 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 no. I can't even fathom that, dude. I can't even fathom because she's only 2. I can't even fathom what she's gonna be like at 4 or 5.
Mhm.
And then people always say like, enjoy this time with her, like enjoy this time because it goes by so fast and you'll miss
Mm,
it. So instead of thinking about the future and what she's gonna be doing, I really try to engulf myself into the now. Uh, when I was posting for her birthday, and I saw a comparison of when she was 1 to when she was
mm,
2, and
mhm,
huge difference when she was at Build-A-Bear. Somebody commented and said, "Time is a thief,"
mm.
and that really resonated with me. So I was like, "They're absolutely right. Time is a thief." So instead of thinking about the hypotheticals and thinking about some of the future things like that, I'd rather just focus right here on the now.
So my daughter, my oldest, she's in first grade, and I think it was like right at the beginning of the year, she told me that one of her classmates has a boyfriend, and I was like, "What did you just say?" I'm like, "We're not crossing that road right now. Like, you're not allowed. I don't want to hear it." And like, it's just
Google, start homeschooling.
yeah, definitely. It wasn't anything that I wanted to, put myself in envisioning at that moment, and it was really off-putting. I was like, I just told her straight up, like, I'm sorry, like this is a situation that we're gonna be able to get into right now. Just know the answer is no. Uh, so my next question for you is, since we've been talking about everything from the beginning when you found out to how you handle the situation to your co-parenting and this how you're so involved with her life at the moment, do you have any advice for someone that's getting ready to either have a child or maybe planning to have a child in the near future?
I would say, kind of like what I did was enjoy every single moment. What I really miss with my daughters when she was actually able to be just right here. But as soon as they start walking, you never get that moment
Mm,
anymore. Um, my advice would also be, uh, you know what I think is a lot of problem. My advice, I think, if it was a man, was just make sure your stuff's in order so that you can be the man that you should be,
mhm,
but also be hands on. Um,
mm.
Actually hears a lot from other mothers how fathers just aren't hands on. They won't change diapers. They won't help clean up. They won't help do this and they won't help do that. I mean, it makes me look good because I'm very hands on. but yeah, try to be as helpful as possible because a kid can really alter and change the marriage or the relationship with people, and they don't realize that. And that's mainly because women will take most of the work and responsibility uh,
Mm.
of taking care of the child. But if you're able to change pampers and take the baby and give mom a break, and mom can leave without worrying, does he know how to feed her? Does he know how to change her? Like that's I don't like that. Incompetent fathers is not something I ever wanted to be.
Mm.
But yeah, so I guess that was a lot. But I guess my advice would just be as helpful and hands-on as possible to be a partnership, tag team, taking raising a child and taking care of a baby.
Well, I just want to say, thank you for your time. Thank you for answering these
Yeah.
questions. And, I really hope that this information gets out to, the right viewers so they can understand that, being a father is more than just sitting back and watching the game. It's being involved, being hands on, because it's something that your child's going to remember for the rest of their life. So that concludes our first episode of Dad
Cool,
Ish.
man. Awesome.
So, all right. Appreciate it. And